Hello everybody, welcome back. I hope you're doing great. So it's been a bit since I recorded this and it feels weird. It is also very early, so you'll be hearing a lot of cars, airplanes, dogs, everything. It is very early and people like to go out and do stuff during this time. So today we have something that I haven't done in a while. I have been doing a lot of get to knows and all of that, but it's been a bit since I have done like a serious movie review. I took a break. I haven't seen anything because nothing was catching my attention, and then the last season for this came out and it took me a while to see. Not because it was boring or anything, nothing like that. It is an amazing series. I absolutely love it. It was mainly because I just couldn't bring myself to see the end of all of this, I guess. I don't know, it was just very tough for me to like. I ended up seeing it and now I'm doing the video of it. It's gonna be a couple of months late, but I still going to do it because I did the video for the first 2 seasons and I had to do the video for the last season. It is one of my favorite series, so I had to do the end video for this. So I am talking about Sweet Home season 3 that came out last summer. Like I said, I have done videos on season 1 and season 2, so my suggestion is to go watch those first. If you don't know too much about this season, this is the last one from Sweet Home, so again I had to do it. And this one, just like the other ones, there's 8 episodes. The episodes for season 3 are more shorter. The other ones were like an hour-ish, an hour and 10 minutes. These ones are less than an hour for sure, which makes sense for me. I mean, this season is about ending everything and giving conclusion to everything that we have learned and seen the other 2 seasons. So I will say, before getting into what happened at the end and the episodes and stuff, these episodes go like this. They're very quick pace. There's a few places where they talk a lot, but it is very quick pace, which again, it doesn't surprise me because this is the end. They already explained to you everything that you need to know in the first 2 seasons, especially the second season, and now it's like, you know everything, okay, we're just gonna give you the ending, boom, and done. That is basically what it is, which is why it feels very quick this last season. So that is like one thing to know. And 2, of course, I'm not gonna be talking about everything that happens on this. I'm just gonna point out the things that you need to know and for you to like understand the ending and how it ends. That's basically, I literally took like 3 or 4 points from each episode and done, because a lot happens, but I just focused on stuff that was necessary for you to understand the ending. So we will see how long this video is, because the other 2 were longer, so we will see how this goes. So let's just start right away. How everything starts in episode 1 is, of course, giving you flashbacks of what has happened in season 2. And one thing we do get an explanation finally, especially at the beginning, is in season 2 with DC Hyunsoo getting the mind of a monster at some point, and him seeing that this person is still in the mind as a human and is scared and doesn't know what to do. We saw that briefly when he got captured by the people doing the experiments and stuff like that, but it was never fully explained what it was. And now, starting the season 3, we finally get an explanation of what this is. One thing from these flashbacks is there's the human Hyunsoo and there's the monster Hyunsoo. That is the one that we always see with blue eyes, and monster Hyunsoo is trying to get control over human Hyunsoo. I'm gonna be saying a lot of human Hyunsoo, monster Hyunsoo, because that's the easier way for you to, you know the difference. But we are seeing this monster Hyunsoo trying to get control over human Hyunsoo, but that doesn't happen. Human Hyunsoo is not letting him do that. So another thing that they explain to you is that the way that the monster side of the human gets control over the human is by memories. So there is this desire that people have, nosebleeds, all that stuff. This monster side is creating this happy scenario for the human to be able to live there and kind of, in a way, fulfilling that desire that the human has, that made him can the nosebleeds and stuff, and when the humans go into a happy memory, it just stays there forever, and that's how the monster psyche has control and the human becomes a monster and all of that. So that's one thing that they explain. And Hyunsu can actually go into people's minds and make them human again, in a sense. When I don't know if this is like a power or abilities that he has being a special infectee, but that is something that he can do. We see this season 2, especially 1 when he was fighting the monster in the experiment base thingy, and 2 when Ji-kyun was becoming a monster after her daughter touched her and made her a monster. And when Hyun-soo saw her mind and stuff, he saw her running from people and all of that in this very dark, cold place. Season 2 ended with Monster Hyun-soo being out and Eunju being there with him in the room where he's out. Nothing happens really. Eunju just got so angry that hits him in the head, and human Hyun-soo comes out. That's how it is. I thought something else was going to happen. I was like, oh my god, this guy is gonna fight her. No, she just hits him and human Hyun-soo is out. So that's all that happens at that scene, how it ended in season 2. So just wanted to get it out there. So something else, Dr. Lee is alive and he's with Sang-woo. We saw that in season 2 at the end, where Dr. Lee saw Sang-wook's body, but it's actually Sang-woo, and we got, you know, the, how do you call it, we got the news that it was never Wimyeon, it was actually Sang-won, which he is Ji-kyun's boyfriend. Now again, he is inside Sang-wook's body. I'm just gonna say Sang-woo, so whenever I say Sang-won, you know it's him. But we got that news at the end of season 2. He's just there explaining to Dr. Lee how when he was being experimented on, he went into Wimyeon's body, and when he was almost dying in that body, he went into Sang-woo's body, and now he cannot change bodies anymore for some reason. He doesn't understand why, so he needs Dr. Lee help to understand why he cannot change bodies. And he has been in that place doing experiments on people and creating a special infectees, and he's using this experiment that he's using to take out the desires of people. So how it works in this thing is there's 3 soldiers. Now in season 2 I never mentioned the soldiers' names because there were a lot of them. One that you can focus on this season is Yeon-woo. He's one of the soldiers, and there is 3 soldiers hanging from the ceiling. There's monsters at the bottom, and Yeon-woo is brought out by 2 other special infectees that work with Sang-won. They're like, okay, you have to decide which one you're gonna save. You can only save one. So one of the soldiers die because he falls and dies, and then he points the gun at another one. That one falls, but he's able to catch him, and they start fighting the monsters. Now, something weird here is there's a 3rd one that I never saw him die. It gives me a feeling that he just stayed in the ceiling, because I never saw him fall. I never saw them try to save him. He just stayed there. So I was like, there's a 3rd one here. There's nothing. Either way, they do fight, both of them. The other one dies. Yeon-woo is able to get out of there alive. He's making his way to the stadium again, to kind of, you know, help people there. So because he's alive, I was scared that he was going to die, but he's alive. I got happy because I didn't want him to die. Another thing is Hyun-soo and Ji-kyun's fight. On season 2, he throws Ji-kyun in a hole, and he knows she's still alive. That wasn't enough to kill her, so he decides to go in the hole again, find her, and go inside her mind and, you know, try and make her human again. So when he goes inside her mind, we see the monster side of her trying to bribe her with the daughter, Jisoo. I think her name is Jisoo. The monster is like, you want your daughter to be safe, okay, you just need to come with me and you'll be able to have that safe place with her and be with her forever and all of that. And he's been trying to get her attention. It doesn't work a bit, but then Hyunsu is able to get her attention, get her out of there, not go into the memory, and make her human again. Because of this, you know, GQ knows there's something happening, that her daughter is not safe, and she decides to go to the stadium to find her. Eunju is trying to like stop her, but she decides to go. If you don't know, her daughter Jisoo, she is a monster. It was a very weird pregnancy in season 2, but she's a monster and she can make people become a monster just by touching them. That is like one thing. So GQ knows that Sangwon is going after her for some reason that we still fully don't know yet, and she knows that the only place she will go is a stadium because she doesn't trust humans, and that is the only place that she kind of knows or has heard about, and she knows she will go there. Sangwon, he goes to the stadium. Now Dr. Lee is with him. We also see other special effectees that work with him. So I'm guessing these are all people that Dr. Lee experimented on before, and now they're just working with Sangwon. But we have Shi-sun, Lee Yejin, and Ja-yeon. I think that's how you say their names. And they got to the stadium and they immediately, you know, say we're special effectees people, we can kill you with just one hit. And they get control over the stadium quickly, and they're like, if you're human, just stay here, but if you're a special effectee, come to us, or if you're infected or you already have symptoms, come to us. You are a priority to us and we will help you go through it. But they very quickly get control over there because he knows Jisoo is there and he wants her. Why? Also, in this stadium is where Inwon, which is Sergeant Inwon, I don't know if it's Inwa or Intak, one of the two. I have it on my notes as Inwa. I'll put a picture of him so you know whenever I say Inwon it's him, but I think it's Intak. I just couldn't find fully the name, but I'm just gonna call him Inwon for now. It's the one that we saw a lot in season 2, and he is becoming a monster, but nobody knows. But he tries to save people a lot there. So the way that Sangwon does know that Jisoo is there is because we do get a scene at some point that is in season 2 where Ji-kyun is, you know, on the floor on pain because of the baby. We did see Sangwon. We get this scene where Sangwon was there watching her, and he puts a piece of him in her belly on the baby, I think it is, and that is enough for him to know who she is. Like as soon as he touches her, she's gonna know that is his daughter. He keeps calling her daughter, so it is his daughter, I guess. Another thing that we learn is that, like I said, he's not able to change from the body at the moment, and he knows he wants Jisoo to be his next vessel, because in his opinion she's the perfect vessel for him. Now there were a few new characters that they do present to us in season 2 that a lot of them I didn't mention because they just appeared done. The stuff that they were doing in season 2 wasn't that important, but I mention here because something does happen here. There's 2 ones that I'll be mentioning that did appear in season 2. It was Hasan and Hani. They were always together. Kind of important because they do save Eunju and Hyunsu and Chanyeon at some point in season 2. Mentioning them now because we do get a bit of backstory about them, how her parents became a monster and he came and killed them, and she was like, I'm gonna stay with you because as soon as you become a monster I'm gonna kill you, and he's like, please do, I don't want to be a monster, so if I do, please do it. I think she's a drug addict at the moment, I think, because she's definitely addict to something because she was suffering at some point. Hasan does become a monster. He started having the nosebleeds and all of that, and she cannot kill him. It's this pretty weird but relationship that I started having as daughter and father, even though they're not related at all, but definitely with time she got attached to him and she couldn't kill him. And this is a little bit important because after Hyunsu did everything with Ji-kyun and make her human again, he went into sleeping mode again, and Eunju is trying to wake him up like always. And Monster Hyunsoo comes out, and he's annoyed by the noise outside so much that he goes out. He kills this monster that was around. I don't remember which one it is, but there was monster around. He kills that monster with just one hit, and then he goes into Chanyeon and tries to kill him. But he doesn't do it because Eunju finds this syringe, something. She puts him to sleep, essentially, with something, so he doesn't hurt Chanyeon. Monster Hyunsoo is back again. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because Monster Hyunsoo is back. Eunhyuk's return was very big in season 2, and he is the first neo-human that we see in season 3. We do get a little bit of information about the neo-human thing later on, which I'll get to it later on. But Yeonwoo is the one that finds him in the experiment base place, and he is about to die, and he's like, kill me please, and Yeonwoo doesn't. He takes him with him. They get into a church, and again Eunhyuk is like, kill me. He's like, no, and Eunhyuk ends up killing himself. He says, if you want to survive, you need to stay in the church and see everything. So he kills himself. This monster's appeal of a sudden doesn't attack Yeonwoo at all, and just goes into Eunhyuk. Eunhyuk gets in this cocoon again that we have seen a lot, especially season 2, and the monster just stays there protecting him. Eunhyuk does says that he can communicate with monsters, and this makes sense because in season 2 there was a point when we saw all of those cocoons, and I think it was the soldiers that got attacked by a lot of monsters, and they said they're protecting something, and it was definitely a cocoon that they were protecting because there was one there. So like I said, Monster Hyunsoo is back because Eunju woke him up again, and he makes a deal with Eunju. He's like, okay, you want to go to the stadium? I'll go with you guys, but you have 3 days to make human Hyunsoo come out again. Only you. If you do it, I'm gonna leave him alone, and he's gonna live his life however he wants to be. If you are not able to, then I'm just gonna take fully control over him. So they'll head to the stadium. You have Monster Hyunsoo, Eunju, Chanyeon, and Hani. Like I said, Sangwoo is in the stadium finding Jisoo. He does find her very quickly, and he is talking to her a lot. He's like, I'm your father. He's manipulating her essentially into thinking that he's a good guy that just wants to save her and be with her and teach her how to control herself and her powers, abilities, I wouldn't call it. He's like, I need you to show me what you can do so I know how to help you because I'm the same as you. And she ends up putting her hands on the mountain because they're in a mountain, and she wakes up a monster, a huge one. It looks like the one from season 1 that appeared a lot outside, but it's huge. And this monster does attack Eunju, Hani, Chanyeon, and Monster Hyunsoo as well. Monster Hyunsoo is able to defend them. He's like, what the fuck am I defending them for? Shit. He still goes and does it. He doesn't understand why, but he still does it. Jaejin actually appears there. I don't remember fully why he was there. I think it was because he was following Sangwoo and Jisoo. But Monster Hyunsoo gets to him, and they recognize each other because again they both have been in the same experiment base place. And Monster Hyunsoo is like, yeah, you're gonna take me to the stadium, so let's go. He's hurt. I never understood what Jaejin's abilities were because whenever they caught him, he would release this metal substance liquid thing that burned things. But either way, Hyunsoo is just dragging him everywhere. Monster Hyunsoo is dragging him, and Eunju is like trying to catch up to them because she knows they're going to the stadium. Jikyun does end up finding Jisoo in the stadium. They do talk, and it's a very heart-to-heart conversation. I'm not gonna get too into details of it, but you know, she tells her she loves her, she wanted to protect her and all that. That's why she was doing all that. She's able to apologize The daughter is kind of understanding her a lot more, understanding her reasoning. And Jikin is like, hey, I just want you to come with me, we can live together and I'll be a better mother to you, I'm gonna give you some time to think. So Jisoo does go, and Jikin just let her because she knows she needs time to think at the moment. Sergeant Inwa shows Sang-won that he is a monster, or is becoming one, in front of one of the soldiers. So now all the soldiers know that he's a monster, and because he does this, Sang-won has to protect him, because again, when they got into the stadium, they gave priority to everybody that was infected. Knowing that he's infected, they have to give him priority. That's why he did it. We're going back to Eun-hyuk and Yeon-woo. It is morning by this point, and Eun-hyuk is back again, alive, looking cute and handsome like nothing. Very robust. Like, honestly, there's no emotions in his face. Of course, Yeon-woo is like, what the hell is happening? How are you alive? What is this? We get a bit of explanation about the neo-human things, and Hyuk says that this is the last stage that the humans go through. It's like being born again. You become immortal, stronger, you have your memories, but you have no emotions, which is why Hyuk throughout the whole season, especially in season 3, he's no emotions at all. They can learn things very quickly, so they can learn emotions if they wanted to, but that is not like a priority for neo-humans. Jikyun, she dies. It was a very sad death to me. I cried. Essentially, Jisoo decides to go with her. Sang-won, of course, doesn't want that, so they fight. Sang-won does end up killing Jikyun right there in front of her. And of course Jisoo is like crying, and Jikyun is like, just go, run. Jikyun dies. It was a very sad death, honestly. I love her character. Like, a part of me knew she was gonna die, but I didn't know it was going to happen that quickly. Now Sang-won captures Jisoo and put her in a cage aside so she cannot get out. There is an episode specifically, I think it's episode 5, where there's a lot of talking. Not that much happens, it's a lot of talking. Mainly because this is the episode where Eun-hyuk finds Monster Hyun-soo and Eun-ju, and this is the first time that Eun-ju has seen her brother again. And because he's no emotions whatsoever, it's just crying, he's like, what is wrong? He has the memories, he remembers her, but he doesn't show any emotion. It's just like, I have been looking for you, how can not you? And like, she doesn't understand fully, and he's like, I'm a neo-human. I know you, but I don't feel what you're feeling right now. Monster Hyun-soo and Hyuk-da's fight is the little fight that we see a lot on the bus that happens. Jae-jin does appear again. That guy is annoying as fuck, honestly. But he appears and he tries to burn both of them inside the bus. Like, he releases the liquid shit that he can, and he runs away to the stadium. Monster Hyun-soo does let Eun-hyuk go out first, because Eun-hyuk is there to see how Monster Hyun-soo is, or at least Hyun-soo in general, can be useful to him. He wants to see how strong he is and see if he can help him defeat someone. Hyun-soo does end up getting out first, and then Hyun-soo comes out. He's out human, and he tells Eun-hyuk like, hey, if we're gonna do this, you're gonna do what I say and done. Okay? Okay. They just keep going. And Hyuk is like, okay. He goes, and when you just follows them, actually is able to figure out why Sang-won cannot change bodies. He basically tells him what has happened before that makes you change bodies. They realize he has been in a die or leave situation. When he first changed into Women's body, he was being experimented on and they were about to kill him. When he changed from Women's body to Sang-wook's body, he was dying there and he needed a new body to go into, and Sang-wook's body was there. So make the connection that he needs to be dying, or create a scenario that he's dying so he can change bodies and go into Jisoo's body. Yeon-woo, which is the soldier, does end up getting to the stadium together with Chanyeon, Hani, Hyun-soo, and Eun-hyuk. Eun-ju is nowhere. We will talk about what happened with her at the end. While Hyun-soo and Hyuk are looking for someone, Young-hoo does reunite with Sergeant Inwa. Jisoo does get out of the cage and she starts making humans monster and controlling them. And there is this point where it is her, two women, and Sangwon. And Sangwon kills one of the women. And we realize that this woman is Jin-ok. If you don't know her, I think in the stadium they call her Cha, Mrs. Cha, something like that. She is the woman in season 1 that the daughter was outside when everything was happening, and Sang-wook not saves the daughter, but brings the body of the daughter that is already dead inside so she can grieve. She's that woman, and now Sang-won is killing her. You know, he doesn't remember her. We're getting to the end. We're in the last like 2-3 episodes at this moment. This video is gonna be long, I can tell, because I have been talking for way too long. A lot of things happened in these 2-3 last episodes, so I'll just go through it very quickly. Dr. Lee dies. Finally. He was annoying as fuck. Okay? People might like his character. And I understand why you will like him. I didn't. I was like, please die. And he did. I'm way too excited for him to die. But he dies. Someone kills him. Mainly because Inwa does tell him about the vial. And he's like, oh, you're hiding that from me. And someone kills him. And, you know, all this time Dr. Lee was just trying to find a way to make him a monster because he couldn't become a monster. He didn't understand why he couldn't become a monster and why these things were happening to other people and not him. So that's exactly what he just wanted to do. They kill him. They use the fire, the thing that someone was creating to create the scenario of him dying so he can get into Jesus' body is a fire. He used that to kill Dr. Lee. In one, the soldiers are able to get out the humans from the stadium. They use the tunnels that they use a lot in season 2 to get outside. They use those tunnels. In one does become a monster. He has this bomb that he prepared just in case he becomes a monster. He blows himself up. But I don't understand. I think he does become a monster and I don't fully understand how this happened because he blows himself up. I don't know how the tunnel didn't collapse when that happened, but he does. There's a wall that he creates. So I think the monster side of him created this wall to protect the humans. So the humans had to go through that wall to keep going. Jaejin is there trying to save his ass again. So like, hate this guy. And he cannot get through the wall because again, it's only humans. That monsters or special amputee, however you want to call him, he dies either way there. They fight him. Yeon-hoo and Chan-yeon is there with another girl. They fight him either way, he dies, so not able to get out. So Hyuk is looking around trying to find Sangwon. Hyun-soo, human Hyun-soo, he's human now, does find Jisoo. It's not really her because Sangwon is already in her body. That happened. He throws himself in the fire. He's able to get in her body. She takes Hyun-soo out, and when they're out, it's that Hyun-soo realizes this is not really her. So he does get inside her mind, and we see a forest. Jisoo is tied up, and Sangwon is there. This is the first time that actually Hyun-soo knows that Sangwon is Ji-kyun's boyfriend, that he has been behind all of this. He thought it was Hwimyeon, but no, it was Sangwon. I thought he knew, but no, this is the first time that he hears about it, that he's Ji-kyun's boyfriend and he's behind everything. How everything ends. Gonna get this quickly because this video is gonna be like 30 minutes, I can tell. Hyuk kills Jisoo, which is something that Hyun-soo didn't want it to happen, but Hyuk did it anyway because they're fighting all the monsters that Jisoo created. She dies. Sangwon does get out of her body again because again, if he's dying, he gets out of that body and he goes into Sang-wook's body again. He's in another like outfit at the moment, resembling more Sang-wook's actual character than Sangwon, and I understand why they did it now, but I don't know how Sang-wook's body is still good condition after going in the fire, but it still is. So Sangwon goes in the body again and goes out and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm gonna kill you both. He's not able to because Sang-wook is still in that body. At least the memories or the human him still in that body, and he's controlling him. It's like, you're not gonna hurt anybody. I'm gonna kill myself, bitch. So he does. He takes Sang-wook is controlling the body little by little, making his body go in the fire and kill himself. That's basically what he does. But Sangwon is dead. Completely, I mean, I'm guessing because there's no other body for him to go in anymore. So he's dead. I said that Andrew doesn't appear anymore at some point. When Hyun-soo and Hyuk and her were going to the stadium, at some point she stopped and she tells Hyun-soo, "This is my stop. I need to go." And this is because she finally finished her mission. Okay, in my opinion, she was holding on to becoming a monster, or neo-human in this case is what she becomes, but she was holding on because her mission was to find Hyun-soo and find her brother. And now that she has both again, she's able to let go and go through that process, because out of everybody she's the last one. While she goes back to the apartments to, you know, have the nosebleeds and all of that, and Hyuk from season 1 is there with her, guessing that's her desire to be with her brother. And she, you know, she becomes a monster. You know, she goes through all that process to become a neo-human, essentially, is what she becomes. So at the very end, just everybody lives together. Neo-human, special effectees, humans. They all live together. They all realize, hey, whatever we are, we're still humans. This is how Earth decided to do all this. We can still save whoever is out there still to save, which Hyun-soo is helping with that. The girls are like teaching the children about everything, so they just learn how to live with one another. Eunju is a neo-human, like I said. Eunhyuk is a neo-human that he's finally learning emotions and all that, and we see him smiling at the end. And Hyun-soo just is his human special effect. I don't think he becomes a neo-human. I think he stays a special effectee, but his monster side is just not there anymore. They decide to not have control over him anymore, just let him be. That's how it ends. It just ends with them being in the apartments, Eunju being a neo-human, and Eunhyuk and Hyun-soo looking at her being like, okay, now it is our time to teach you how to be human again. So good. Okay, this is one of my favorite series that I have seen on Netflix. It is a very good ending, honestly. One thing that people are saying is that Jisoo is still alive, because at some point when Sang-wook was killing Sangwon by himself, there was a quick scene where Jisoo was struggling breathing and she was kind of glowing a bit, so people think that she's alive. It can be that. Another thing that comes to my mind is that because at some point Sangwon gives a piece of him to Jisoo where she was in the belly and all that we saw at the beginning, maybe that piece is still with her, and by Sang-wook killing Sangwon, he's also killing her. That's another thing that comes to my mind. So either she's alive or that thing happening was killing her also completely. But people think she's alive. It's teaching you that people are different, but you can learn how to live with them. And kind of, you know, it's like we all different and we can all learn from each other and we can all learn to live with each other, that kind of a thing. If you decide to see it, I'll give you a rundown. Season 1 is more of an introduction season. They're introducing you to the characters. They're gonna make you cry with some of the deaths. They are giving you the basic information that you need to understand why everything is happening or what is happening. That's what season 1 is for. Be careful who characters you get attached to. That's one thing I'm gonna say, be careful, because I got attached to some characters that died after in that season 1 and I cry my eyes out. So season 2, it will feel kind of slow and boring, but it is a necessity of an episode because they give you every piece of information that you need to know before the ending. There's a little bit more talking. Episodes will feel a little bit longer than usual. Things are still going to happen, but there's gonna be a lot of information thrown at you, which is one thing that I said when I did season 2 video. A lot of information is thrown at you, but it is necessary for you to understand the ending and more of the characters and how the monsters work, how the whole thing works, and humans, special effects, all of that. There's a lot of information thrown at you in season 2 for you to fully understand season 3. Season 3 is the ending. Season 3 is the conclusion, It's like no explanation given except for the neurohuman things, because that is the only thing that I didn't fully explain in season 2. I love this series. I think it's a very good series. I will highly suggest it. There's a lot of blood, a lot of dying, so if you're not into that, might not be the greatest series for you. If you don't mind any of that, go ahead and watch it. If you guys have seen the series, let me know what you think of it. Did you like the ending? Is there something that you guys would have changed towards the ending? Let me know in the comments below. Are you gonna watch the series now that it's over? Let me know. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing great, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.